So Krystal Ball and Tomi Lahren get into this debate here about a lot of things, but we're just going to really be covering one. I don't want to go over the whole 40-minute video or whatever it is. Uh, yeah, I mean, they basically get into censorship or really, Trump's fascist authoritarianism, right? Authoritarian ways, sorry. That I really think that's just common knowledge now. Tomi Lahren tries to fight back on it and, do her best to fight for the cult leader, Donald Trump. But obviously, Krystal Ball breaks it down beautifully and shows exactly why he has fascist ways for sure. I mean, obviously she gets cooked the whole debate, but she gets cooked in this segment that we're going to be going over, especially. Tomi Lahren not really the brightest tool in the toolbox, right? Even in this interview, she said she didn't know that Puerto Rico was a part of the United States. So,
is because I'm about ready to do my commentary on it. But do you think Bad Bunny is a good choice for the Super Bowl?
I'm not that knowledgeable about him, but it seems fine, and I don't know why it's a big deal. Seems like a great American artist, so sure.
He's not an American artist, but
he's Puerto Rican. That's part of America, dear.
Okay, so you saw that clip right there, which was fucking hilarious to Tomi Lahren, just not knowing Puerto Rico was a part of the United States, essentially. But we're going to be going over this video. Krystal's going to start off by talking about the memorandum that we went over yesterday of the NSPM-7, I believe, combating political violence or whatever it's called. It was essentially, if you guys didn't watch it, it was essentially they can deem whoever, whoever really they want to as a politically violent group, and for national security reasons, say like the agencies of the FBI, DOJ, Homeland Security, things like that, can investigate those organizations that they deem as could be politically violent. So really any left-wing group at this point, you guys can look it up again if you want to read it yourself. NSPM-7, I believe it's called. So
less attention is Trump just signed this new national security memorandum that effectively labels anyone who opposes him and his views as a potential domestic terrorist. Now, that does come with actual federal resources that can do a lot more than just pick up trash and sort of stand around while ICE does whatever they want to do. So you're right. In DC, in Chicago, so what we've seen so far, a lot of this is fascist theater. But it is meant to intimidate. It is meant to send a message
thugs and
that
felons,
political opposition will not be tolerated.
Donald Trump's the felon, dumbass.
And you have to put it together, Tommy. I genuinely want to ask you this question. Is there nothing that he's done that you feel it's a little too far? We've had the tariffs, which have been wild and unilaterally imposed. We've got Palantir getting contracts to surveil anyone and everyone they want to. We have people being sent to a foreign gulag with zero due process. We have National Guard being deployed in city after city after city. You have American citizens.
See, this is another thing where I went over the other day of it was the video of Tim Miller on Piers Morgan's show, and I don't know. I think some of them are just too, people on the left, like Krystal and Tim, they really think these people are not insane. Tomi Lahren is literally insane. Most of these right-wing, especially the pundits and the influencers, they're all literally brainwashed, and they don't have any cognitive ability to criticize Donald Trump or anybody on their side. And then when people like Krystal Ball, and I love Krystal Ball, I've gone over plenty of videos of hers on my channel, and I'd say I politically align with her on a lot of issues, right? But to think that you get on this interview with Tomi Lahren that this is going to be a good faith debate about you guys criticizing both sides of the aisle is absolutely insane. And if Krystal thought that is what this was going to be, she was brutally wrong if she thought that and she thought that this is what that would be, right? Yeah, I mean, you can see it here. Oh, we're deporting people without due process. Oh, I love that. I fucking love that. It's like, what? What are you saying? But do I expect anything different from Tomi Lahren? Do I actually expect Tomi Lahren to get on here and say anything that Donald Trump is doing that's authoritarian is wrong? No, absolutely not. So yeah, let's just keep watching, and then I'll comment more.
Listen, I mean,
City after city
I
after
don't know if you
city.
saw this video.
Which cities has he deployed National Guard to besides protecting
LA,
federal?
DC, Memphis,
Oh, yeah?
Portland.
We invited him
threatened in
here.
20
We invited him
different
to
states.
Tennessee. We invited him to Tennessee. Governor invited him to come clean up.
It doesn't even matter because he's still going into other cities that's not wanted, even if they were wanted by Tennessee. Wanted meaning the Republican governor wants to send the National Guard in Memphis, so he's not over Memphis, or he's only over the state of Tennessee. So we is a stretch, if let's see the National Guard go into the governor's neighborhood, right? Let's see that. I don't think that he'd be endorsing that, right? So let's not, we is a strong word here, because I don't think anybody wants to have the National Guard in their city, whether it be DC, even Chicago, obviously not, in LA that has federal agents there now that obviously don't want it, and has had a lot of bad stories coming out of, like, the LA Times, for example. So
Streets of Memphis because they desperately need the help. So this is I'm genuinely curious in this.
But Tomi, let me, can you respond to the question though? None of this you feel
No,
like,
none of
this is a little too far.
No.
Saying policing comedians' monologues, right?
He's not
using lawsuits to threaten
whoa.
media, consolidating media in the hands of his
Krystal,
allies.
I know that you're not trying to allege that Jimmy Kimmel or Colbert were taken off the air because of President Trump.
They obviously were. I mean, Kimmel in particular. Colbert, you could make another argument about. But the FCC commissioner came out and said we could do this the easy way or the hard way. And next thing you know, Disney pulls the plug. Why? Because
why
they
did they
know that this
reinstate him then?
president weaponizes the federal government
Why was he
against
reinstated?
his adversaries. They're worried about their business deals because the backlash was so severe. Look, these people don't care about anything about their bottom line. I hope you agree with that. And they saw more than 1.7 million Disney customers cancel their Disney Plus subscription.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Why was he reinstated? I mean, Tomi Lahren knows exactly why he was reinstated, because their stock dropped like 7% overnight when they fired him. It's not even like Tomi Lahren's going to get into, his views are low. His views are low. If his views are low, it still wouldn't even matter, because if they fired him, then his stock would drop. Their stock would drop 7%, and he basically owns 7% of their stock already, because of if they were to drop him, then it would go down. So it doesn't even matter, right? Let's just keep watching.
So they were like, we've got an even bigger problem here. But there is zero doubt that the intention is to chill speech, to make anyone who opposes this president think twice before they do that. That's what the university crackdowns are about. That's what the legal crackdowns are about. That's what kidnapping students off the street for writing an op-ed. That's what that's about. That's what the National Guard in the street is about. And that's what him saying to these generals today, we have to use the military against the enemy within. So you may not like the term fascist. You may not like it when it's thrown around by Democrats. You had no problem with it when it was thrown around by Trump, by the way. But that is, in fact, the accurate description of what we're seeing here. And so I have no problem with people trying to accurately describe the situation that they're experiencing in their own country.
Do you think that I have so many questions for you? That whole.
Not only that, just to add on to that, I mean, this guy has said that bad broadcasting on him, bad news about him is highly illegal. Like, what more authoritarian does it get than all of this stuff? I mean, there you guys have it. There's no real rebuttal to saying that Donald Trump isn't a authoritarian or fascist, really. Authoritarian being in the definition of fascist. Plenty of examples pointed out there by Krystal Ball, or even, there's just so many examples. I can't even think of all the examples. just pointed out there by Krystal Ball was him saying in front of the military that we're going to use you for the enemy within. Sorry, the enemy within. Uh, him saying pressuring or him saying that any news against him that is negative is highly illegal, whether it be telling Pam Bondi to prosecute, specifically telling her who to prosecute. Like this is a normal thing. I mean, there's like 8, 10 examples of him trying to censor speech or censor, him signing another thing, him signing an executive order. This was a while back from him. You can't burn the flag, which was, upheld by the Supreme Court of the United States. I literally I can't give you guys all 100 examples of him doing authoritarian shit, but there's some right off the top of my head of, authoritarianism. And unfortunately, it's starting to get like really normalized, which is bad, which is really bad. I literally know some people that think that it's normal to use the DOJ as, using the DOJ to prosecute people, and you telling the DOJ head what to do and who to prosecute is absolutely not how the DOJ works at all, or any cabinet in government for that point, right? And some of them are literally brainwashed to think that this is what Biden did against Donald Trump, and now Donald Trump's just doing the same thing that Biden was doing. And Biden never told Merrick Garland to prosecute Donald Trump or whoever politically motivated opponent that he wanted to prosecute. That's absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, this needs to be not normalized, and we need to tell people that this is, not okay, that this is a attack on our democracy, really. And he's trying to another story, just not going into too much of this story, but we're going to go after later on. He tried to fire, remember when we went over Trump trying to fire Lisa Cook? They struck that down today, so she doesn't have to, or she can't be fired. If they were to rule that she could be fired, I mean, that this would be, it would be a landmark decision for him to just start firing people whoever he disagreed with from independent agencies in the government. And if you didn't align with Donald Trump, then he'd just fire you. So I'm glad that didn't go through. But yeah, I mean, this is just, that's another example of authoritarianism shit. I didn't even think of that, man. I mean, how many times, bro? Another thing, literally, he tried, or he didn't try, he did. He fired the CDC director that he appointed, because RFK told Donald Trump to, because she wasn't aligned with all the Tylenol bullshit and all the other stuff that they were trying to do in this administration. I mean, Jesus, I can just talk about Donald Trump and not even think about the authoritarian things that he's doing, but when I talk about what he has been doing this administration, authoritarianism will just come up on its own. Like, it'll just come up on its own, man. And that's literally just off the top of my head, just me talking. Wow, I mean, that's ridiculous. So, yeah, I'm going to end that one here, guys. I mean, Jesus, man. Hopefully we start to get, Gen Z, people in our generation, my generation, to realize that this isn't normal, because, we haven't been into politics very long. Me only being 23, people 20, 21 have not been really paying attention to politics, I mean, a lot of them, right? So this is the first thing that they're seeing, and it's being normalized, and it doesn't need to be normalized. So yeah, we'll work on that, right? So all right, guys, I'm gonna end it here, and we'll have another one for you later. See ya.